Jake Caprice turns 30, and a result for Peterborough surely must have hurt him. Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
Hi Dan. Happy birthday, Jake Caprice.
Yeah.
30.
It was a happy birthday for him.
Now I thought in my mind he's about 48.
Really?
Yeah, he looks old to me.
I never thought about it before, to be honest, I don't think. And then when it said it was 30, I thought, oh, all right. Okay.
Okay.
Jakey.
I tell you who certainly doesn't look old and tired.
Who's that?
Gary Caldwell. First win at St James Park.
No, he's all puffed up, isn't he, in his bubble jacket.
In his bubble jacket gilet. That's quite hard to say.
Yeah. Gary.
Loved it. So it's Exeter City 3, Peterborough United 2.
Yeah. Young Gary Caldwell's first home game.
Yeah.
Which is weird because it seems like he's been here forever now.
Yeah.
But that's his first home match. And there he was in the dugout.
With his newly appointed assistant manager, Kev Nicholson.
Yeah. And then he's got another new coach as well, hasn't he? Someone he used to play with at Wigan, I think.
Yeah.
Can't remember his name.
We'll look it up.
Yeah, we'll come back to him. And a surprise inclusion in the starting lineup for young Matt J.
Yes.
Sam Nombe rested.
Yeah, so it's Stansfield, J, Brown at the top.
Yeah, but with kind of Brown through the middle
and
J kind of either side. Which, interesting. We obviously wanted to get Matt J some time on the pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Dieng in midfield with Collins.
Yeah.
And the usual.
Yeah, so Key's still playing centre-back, isn't he? Still no Diabate, still no Stubbs. Caprice on the right, Sparks on the left.
Yeah.
So Peterborough, obviously an informed team.
Yeah, I think they won their last 3 or 4 before this.
They're in the promotion hunt.
Yeah.
Just recently come down from the Championship. A lot of cash.
4th in the league, yeah.
Didn't matter.
No Joel Randall in the match day squad.
No, as we were saying last week, that's right.
Yeah.
But it was, we looked well matched with them first half, didn't we?
Yeah, what I'd say was it's an interesting match.
Well, it certainly was an interesting match.
And that's mostly down to the new manager and seeing how he reacts and seeing how he does things differently. Now we've seen a bit of it already because he's been here for a while, but every new team that comes, for the time being, we're going to see sort of how he approaches different things, and this is the first time we've seen him approach a home game.
Yep.
So far we've had bigger teams in the league away from home, and we've largely done quite well. And so it was like, okay, right, we've gone for Matt J. This Giovanni through the middle. I don't know if they worked amazingly well though that choice, but first half we were decent. We attacked them.
Yeah,
it was fairly end to end actually.
The
first half.
Yeah.
Peter obviously kind of like to play the ball on the ground, lots of passing it around between the centre backs.
They looked very quick as well, didn't they?
They did look quick, yeah. And but the chances were coming for us, as well as for them. A few good saves in this match from Blackman.
Yeah.
And a good save from their keeper, from Archie Collins, another long-range drive.
Close one, another close one.
Yeah, and a good save. And then
went ahead.
The goal came.
City goal.
Yeah.
From a corner. Now, I quoted this statistic.
Was this from the resulting corner or from Archie Collins' shot?
I couldn't tell you for sure.
Right.
It's close to, if not. I gave you the stat after the Argyle game that we were one of the best in the league for scoring from corners.
Set pieces, I think it is, yeah.
Set pieces. Well, we're keeping that going, aren't we?
I think we now are the best, are we not?
Okay, maybe.
I think someone said that.
So that was half an hour. That's 27 minutes. Dieng gets the flick on.
Yeah, he couldn't, from the big bank, I couldn't really tell. I thought it had gone straight in.
Yeah.
But, it's Dieng. Oh, we've got replays now on the big telly.
Yes.
bit hard to tell what happened in that one, but good to have him. If you're right down the end of that end of the Stansfield stand, it's probably
it worked really well, wouldn't it? If there's a goal at the big bank and you're at the other end of the Stansfield, you'll get a reasonable view of it.
Yeah.
Also good if you're not looking, you just missed it.
Yeah, if you just like
texting your girlfriend.
Yeah, or gone to the.
You've gone early for
red
the drink.
And fed or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Yes, that was one new addition. Also a new addition. Of course, it was the Remembrance Day. Presentation of the wreaths and that kind of thing. And this year we had
Armistice.
That's
Armistice. Right. Armistice Day. Is that Armistice Day?
Armistice
Day.
Yeah, but not. But the closest Saturday to it. That. And we had the introduction for the first time of the triple bugler, which it's not something you get in Burger King.
Well, I'll tell you why they've gone for the trio.
The what?
The trio of
buglers. Give them their proper title. Triple bugler.
Right, the triple bugler. Because last year, Matey did it on his own.
Yeah.
And, it's a solemn day.
Yeah.
Everyone's very quiet.
Yeah.
There's nothing that gets respected more at the football than Poppy Day.
Yeah.
And last year...
Solo bugler.
He was on his own, wasn't he? He did the album version, which went on for ages. And it hit a few duff notes. And it's funny. You can't help it. It's not funny that he's messed up. It is. But it's like, because it's so...
Yeah, it's the juxtaposition,
Yeah,
isn't
exactly. So when he hits a kind of like... It's like, it is funny. So this year, I imagine the same fellow went, I'm not doing it on my own. I need some backup.
Yeah.
So if I kind of, don't quite hit that, it's hard to play a bugler. I haven't got any.
My dad says, who was a bugler, it's really hard to play.
He used to bugle, didn't he?
He used to bugle.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't bugle anymore then.
Former bugler.
Why did he pack it in?
I think because whatever he was in, whatever Boys Brigade was he in, or Boys Brigade. He was the bugler in the.
Oh right.
In the crowd. This is 60 years ago, so.
Okay.
He's bugle free for 60 years.
He's blown his last bugle.
He's not died. He's just retired from bugling. Retired at the young age of 11.
Point still stands. Yeah.
Anyway, he says it's hard. No valves.
There's no valves. You just have to. It's all in the lip shape, is it, or the amount you blow into it?
Well, anyway, while they were lip shaping down the end, some kids near us, like you, found it hard not to chuckle.
No, it wasn't that. I'll tell you what it was. It was followed by an immediate minute silence after the bugles finished.
Yeah.
And then one of them thought you'd be clapping, so he started to clap.
Right.
And then obviously realised you weren't supposed to clap. And then once you find something funny, it's just funny, isn't it? And then it's the moral of the fact that you're laughing. Anyway, some people weren't impressed. Well, what can you do?
Matey next to me, I've never seen anyone shake their head so hard. He was shaking it like he was on a L'Oreal advert. Like he was Cindy Crawford coming out the sea.
Wasn't he completely bald?
Yeah, well, that was the irony, of course. Yeah. Cindy Crawford, of course, famously wasn't shaking her head because she was appalled.
Crawford.
That's a
right.
That's a
He's gorgeous.
That's a current reference there for you, Cindy Crawford.
Right.
Anyway, of course, she famously wasn't shaking her head because someone had disrespected the armistice.
No, just trying to show off the conditioner.
She's just trying to show off the conditioner.
Anyway,
1-0 up.
Yeah, we're 1-0 up. But like you said, pretty end to end. Then we get in a bit of a tangle. The ball kind of breaks. Collins tries to clear it away. It gets a bit unlucky because it just bounces off a guy.
Yeah.
And then lands kind of into the path of...
what's his name?
Mason Clark, is it?
No.
Something Mason Clark?
No, Johnson. Oh, Clark Harris, sorry. It's all
No, Clark Harris is the guy who scored the second goal. It's Mason Clark.
No, Mason Clark's the guy that scored the second.
No, other way around.
Oh, okay.
No, you're sorry, you're right.
Johnson, Clark
sorry.
Harris.
No, you're right. Yeah. Clark Harris. I mean, you got two players, double-barreled names. One of the names in the double barrel is Clark. So, I mean...
It's not easy for us.
It's not easy for anyone.
Anyway, he scores, he puts it away well, and then he does have... I realise what he's doing.
Well, giving it the big one.
Shouting boom at us.
Yeah, well, he'd missed a fairly easy chance just before that. And I think everyone laughed at him, so then he wanted to give it a bit of a boom.
Yeah, he did. Well, the boom was on him in the end. But anyway, so that's half-time, 1-1. And you think, okay, that's probably fair enough. Annoying to concede with a couple of minutes to go.
Yeah, because they missed that chance before. It definitely was Seemed about right to me, yeah.
About right. And then second half, they come out quite strong, don't they, Peterborough?
We don't have much of it, really, second half. We're
attacking the big bank. I didn't see many.
We got down the wings a lot less. We had a lot less of the ball. How much they were doing with the ball, I suppose, is kind of open to speculation, because if you look at possession stats or something, for example, it would say they had the lion's share, but like I said, a lot of it was just kind of passing it back and forth between the centre backs.
Yeah, that's right.
But they were definitely on top. They the goal went, and then they scored.
So we made the change, didn't we? So we bring Jay comes off for Nombe. It hadn't been working, had it?
No, Matt Jay teed up Giovanni in the first half for a really good effort, which maybe Giovanni could have done a bit better with. But other than that, struggled to kind of impact the game. I mean, he hasn't played much, has he?
No, so played much.
First team kind of time out there on the pitch. Match practice is low, but it's difficult to break into that forward line. No matter, especially kind of, I mean, recently we've seen Giovanni Brown drop to the bench as well. So there's not really enough spaces especially for giving people time, No. So Nombe comes on. I think we've kind of been waiting for it to happen, and it was always kind of going to, and things really picked up from there.
Yeah.
He offers. Obviously, we know what he offers, and it's a lot more down the middle as well, I think. So I think maybe for Giovanni might have moved to one of the wider positions. Can't really remember, but things start to pick up when he comes on.
They do. Anyway, unfortunately, 10 minutes to go, Ipswich go ahead for the first time, 2-1.
Yeah. Bit of a comical goal, and some people are giving the old birthday boy, Jake Caprice, a bit of a hard time about it, and it looks a bit it does look a bit comical. Yeah. So the ball hooked in from the right quite high, but then Clark Harris just weirdly sort of dives out the way.
Yeah.
Leaving it, and then it kind of drops to Mason Clark behind him, and I think it just surprised Caprice, who's marking him, that it arrived at him, because his mate just literally dives out the way. I don't know what he's doing, but he catches it on the volley, and then kind of a bit against the run of play since Nombe had come on.
That's right, yeah.
It's they're ahead, and you think, I
was thinking that's what happens. We.
Well, and the way we were playing it, despite the fact we got a bit better since Nombe had come on, it didn't look like at that point, when we went 2-1 down, that we would have a way back into that match, especially going behind. You think, it's going to be tough now.
Well, I think I even said to you, if we go behind here, we're done for.
Yeah.
Anyway, Gary Caldwell says, hold my gilet.
Yeah.
chops it straight away, makes some changes, doesn't he? So,
yeah. So this is when it gets interesting, isn't it? This is seeing what they do, seeing what he's going to do to like in a situation where we've gone behind at home, you know?
Yeah. So let's get this right. Kite comes on, Sparks goes off.
Kite comes on for Sparks. So that means Jake Caprice moves over to left wing back.
Yep.
Dieng drops into sort of the right side of the centre back three.
Yep.
Kite into the middle of the midfield with Collins.
Josh
Key into his kind of natural position on the right wing, you know, or right wing back.
Yep.
Those changes pay off almost instantaneously.
2 or 3 minutes, isn't it? So the equaliser comes. Caprice gets the ball. Well, Caprice works the ball down the left.
Collins plays it out to Caprice, and I think this is like the thing we've talked about before in the past, which can work really well when you're wing back. Kind of, a lot of your attack comes from your wing backs. You can switch them round. So all game he's had their wing back or their right-sided guy has been dealing with Sparks.
Yeah,
a left-footed player trying to go down the line. Suddenly he's got Jake Caprice in front of him, who works it down and cuts back in completely, and that a good example of that working really well, just switching up the kind of way you're going to do it. Lovely cross right towards the back post. There's Josh Key, who also, having been moved up, is in a position to be on the back post.
Yep.
Heads it back across for Nombe, gets a little bit of luck, misses it first time, and then pokes it in.
2-2.
2-2.
Everyone goes spare.
Brilliant reaction, and just like seemed to like really confuse Peterborough, and suddenly they just didn't have an answer to what we were doing.
No. So that's 2-2, and that's with 3 or 4 minutes left.
Yeah, I'd have been happy with it, to be honest.
Yeah. Gary Colwell was not happy with it.
Colwell said, "That's not enough for me."
Give me some more, he said.
Yeah.
So they do give him some more. And I think someone's timed it. Less than 15 seconds from Blackman.
Yeah, goal kick.
Yeah.
Blackman
Right down the middle.
kicks it right down the middle, chested down by Nombe into the path of Stansfield, who then plays what I'm only assuming is now his signature move.
Yes.
Which is this kind of reverse pass through ball that splits the defence. Giovanni Brown's rushing onto it. By the way, we've shifted this around a little bit, so it's more like Giovanni's kind of dropped back into his natural position of 10.
Yeah.
With Nombe and Stansfield ahead of him. So Giovanni kind of is running from deeper as this comes through. Jay plays this pass. It's perfect. The weight of this pass, like the Argyle one, both the Argyle ones really, but especially the second one at Argyle, perfect weight pass. And Giovanni gets there before their two defenders and sweeps it home.
Beautiful. Wasn't just a slot, was it? It was an absolute...
No, I call it a sweep.
A sweep's very nice.
Yeah.
Opens
up the body.
Everyone goes spare.
Yeah.
Rightly so.
It was a bit like that Harrogate game, wasn't it, last season?
Yes.
It felt like that. But,
it did.
Yeah, magnificent.
We've been so lucky with so many brilliant moments in recent years, haven't we, of those kind of things. You think, oh, this is wonderful. It's no wonder that it's selling out every week.
Well, we got them, and I think that's down to the fact that we look at these. We've got these players now, like forwards especially, who are like, grandstand, aren't they? Box office players, Giovanni, Sports Report-esque, Football Focus.
Yeah. Not Soccer AM, they're better than that.
Saint and Greavesy.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Giovanni, they're flair players, aren't they?
But they're great players.
Yeah.
They've got all the skills, but they've also got the real, attitude for the big moment, I guess. Yeah,
they love it.
They love it.
I tell you what, Jay Stansfield is so good.
I know.
But I tell you what, he's so good in tight situations, which is a thing, I guess because we've been in League Two a lot for the last sort of decade, that you don't see players who are that good under pressure, as in reacting really quickly and being able to kind of, in a really short space of time, do something very, very good. So the ball arrives to your feet, you've got a split second to play exactly the right pass or shot, and he's really good at that. And it's quite an interesting kind of new thing to see. I hope we keep hold of him for the whole season. I assume we are.
Well, I assume we are because
he's obviously come here. He won't want to just go back to Fulham and then go on loan somewhere better just because he's doing well. He wants to be here.
It's a very specific thing with City and him, isn't it?
And obviously this is partly a family thing. His family are getting to see him.
Yep.
Obviously I imagine very much enjoying it. We still haven't got that big bank goal yet, but I think that we know it's coming, and I think the longer it goes on, the more the kind of tension builds, and it's going to be good, isn't it?
I can't see any way that he would go back to Fulham. They've now got a month off for the World Cup.
Yeah, true.
So he's not going back now.
Yeah.
Actually, City's schedule is fairly straightforward.
Unless at the World Cup,
all their players
get mullered.
But,
because they got Mitrovic there.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Willian isn't in the Brazil squad, but I don't know.
I mean, he might be in the over 40s Brazil squad.
Yeah, or I don't know who else they got, but yeah. So there's,
their best player almost is that guy Harrison Reed, who I think is probably the Stansfield prototype.
Okay.
Attacking midfielder. He's kind of everything. But he plays all those passes.
I hate to say it, I haven't actually watched much Fulham this season.
I watched a bit of them last year.
I watched a bit deliberately at the beginning of the season when Stano was playing for them. But that was the only reason I did.
Harrison Reed's excellent. He'll be a top 6 player within a year or two. He's English, so he's not gone to the World Cup. I think probably he's the reason that Stansfield fits into that squad. That
Okay, right, yeah.
I think probably we'll have him the whole year unless something disastrous happens.
Yeah. So brilliant
Anyway,
match.
Brilliant. Great match. Great.
Real enjoyable.
occasion.
Yeah, and like kind of, it's the big fella's first game.
Well, let's talk about
First
that.
home game.
He comes over. Because we're used to Matt Taylor, obviously, taking it very seriously, that everyone goes and applauds everywhere. Colwell's not just come for the... He's not just ticking the boxes, is he? He comes over, he's clapping. He's almost clapping in time. He's getting his own song.
Yeah, he wants in, doesn't he?
He wants in.
He wants in on the whole party, the whole
does.
thing. You know,
Matt Taylor was
I
glad
love
for
that.
it.
Matt Taylor liked it, but also he's so northern, which is as a compliment that he's like, it's all about it's the players. They take that.
Yeah.
I'll come afterwards. I'm the kind of father. I'll come afterwards and give a little bit. Gary just wants in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Speaking of bugles, have you ever had the crisp bugles? You know those little things?
What the hell is that?
It's like a little triangular shaped but sort of 3D crisp.
No.
Like kind of the shape of a bugle. Never had them?
No. What
It's
are
the
they? Are
sort
they
of thing
called bugles?
Called bugles, yeah. It's the sort of thing you get like in a bowl in a European country when they bring out a round of drinks, and then you get they always bring out crisps and stuff as well. You get some bugle in there, it's delicious.
Never had a bugle.
I don't know if you can get them in this country. I assume you can probably somewhere.
If anyone's got any hot, hookups.
If you know where you can get bugles, the crisps.
If you're a crisp distributor,
bring them along to the match, and then just kind of lob a load in the air.
please.
Yeah.
They'll find their way to us.
Yeah.
Hopefully. No, I've never had them.
Pack the park with bugles.
That could get very confusing. And I don't want 6,000 people to turn up with actual bugles.
Imagine if they just sort of went like after the success of the last post on the bugle at the weekend. They're like, "Well, I'd quite like bugle. Why just have bugles playing every week?"
What, like jaunty bugles?
Yeah, just playing all the hits of the day.
Like a Garacha.
Instead of like instead of having like music on the tannoy, it doesn't work anyway.
Yeah.
We'll just have someone playing like what do people like these days? Doja Cat, the latest Doja Cat number on the bugle.
I mean, I can't see any way in which that wouldn't be great.
Very unique. I don't know if there's something Gary Caldwell. Maybe there's a few things Gary Caldwell might be wanting to introduce. Now, the chance of it being someone playing pop songs on a bugle pretty slim, but there might be other things he wants to do. But he's thinking, I can't go straight in with all this kind of, you got to drip feed it.
Yeah. Now, I've got a question about that.
He's introduced them all to this card game, the Wolf, whatever it's called. Do you hear Giovanni talking about that?
No.
But I know this game is called as Assassins. Do you know
Right.
this game? Have you ever played this game?
No.
So it's kind of like a parlor game, if you will, but they're playing it with cards, and you kind of have different roles.
Right.
And then someone's a killer. In this case, the wolf. And then you kind of go to sleep at night, and then they choose someone to kill, and then the others have got different roles, and they've got to work out who the wolf is.
Okay, all right, yeah. So Caldwell's playing that.
I don't know if
lads.
Caldwell's introduced this or whether they've introduced it, but they're all getting involved anyway, and sounds fun.
That does sound fun. Now,
Can I play?
Can Dan be in your card?
Can I play, please?
What's it? What do you call it? Card circle?
Card school.
Card school. Can Dan be in your card school, please? Now, I've got a question about that, and I'm just looking it up now, because I wonder if Caldwell is getting involved in more than just the football. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
So, Scott Palfrey, friend of the show.
Okay, yeah.
Well, friend of mine.
Don't know if he even listens to it, to be honest.
Scott, do you listen? Yes. Yeah.
He's a good lad.
He's a good lad. Anyway, he's tweeted, as he does, they just made on November 12th an SJP is our home video, right? It's all, Scott's favourite kind of drones and that. And Scott has retweeted it with the quote above it. Gary asked us to make this video. It's a special place. Thanks to all that contributed. Is Gary Caldwell getting involved with the media? It sounds like he is.
Well, he's requesting content.
Love that.
And
As
he's
in,
requesting content, sort of going talking about somewhere being his home. That at that point, presumably, he'd never even been.
He'd been, because we saw him there with a scarf on.
No one else there, though.
He just
But
wants
I like it.
But do you think
yeah.
he's like, I like that, What else do we need here? Well, we already know St James Park's this brilliant...
What I'm assuming is he's picking up on the kind of vibe and wants to kind of, get involved and kind of, encourage that. More kind of videos of supporters chatting about things.
Yeah.
And, stuff like that.
Eating bugles. Love it.
Yeah, I wonder if he commissioned that feature-length Czech Diabate interview with his host family. Did you see that?
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
That was nice, wasn't
It
it?
was really nice. Yeah. Next, I'd like him to see it. What would you like to see him commission next? I'd like to see him commission a carnival float. Exeter Carnival's coming back. Get the lads on the carnival float.
Is that carnival actually coming back?
Yeah.
Is it really?
In a couple of weeks.
No way.
Yeah.
That used to be in October.
It's now in November. Coldwell, get a float together. Get the paper mache out.
But you did this in the summer.
Different.
Okay.
You're not on your own double decker now. You've got
It's sort of like a lorry with the sides open.
Lorry with the sides open. You
Yeah.
can have whatever you want. Gary Coldwell wants the players to do Tropical Island theme.
Okay.
And, make it happen. Archie Collins has got coconuts on for a coconut bra,
Okay.
etc.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jamal's a mermaid.
All right. I'd be happy with anything.
I think that's the
I'm
next
more
thing.
sort of kind of blown away by the news that the Exeter Carnival is
sorry.
coming back.
I
That's
should've-
probably finished in about 1998, didn't it?
Well, you and my wife are very excited as Exeter residents from childhood, yeah.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember it as a kind of, a magical time. We've talked about the carnival. On
We
that
have,
podcast
but now it's
before.
happening.
Yeah.
We can make new memories.
We could do a float.
We could.
Me
That'd
and
be
you
good, wouldn't it?
broadcast live podcast from the back of a lorry.
But we'd black out everything, so you wouldn't see us.
Hang on a minute. What?
Well, we're
This
like
sounds dodgy.
no, no. I mean, like we're just voices.
black out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could do. We could wear masks like Slipknot.
We are a bit like podcasters. Slipknot, the Slipknot of podcasters. You're the clown. Okay.
You're the pig.
Hey, more of this in a minute. Welcome back to the Big Bang Theory podcast, where I'm just still reeling from the news that I'm the Slipknot pig.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. pig.
I think he played bass, but no longer with us.
Okay.
What's
Anyway,
up next?
What's up next? Is Ipswich Town at home?
We've got a lunchtime kickoff.
No, it's pre-lunch.
Well, it depends what time you have lunch.
That's true. Midday kickoff.
Yeah.
Midday.
I know. That's
midday.
early.
You can't even get chips before midday. I know. All we talk about is mainly how our food relates to watching the football, but
You can get chips at midday.
I'm gonna have to eat some sort of bacon. No, not bacon. Breakfast bap.
I don't know. Eat whatever you want.
Okay.
Take a fry up in.
Take your own fry up. We've done this content already.
Yeah, I know.
But it's Ipswich Town, who
High flying Ipswich Town.
similarly high flying. They're kind of main.
I mean, high
rivals.
flying. Yeah, they're second in League Two, but I mean they were a Premier League team when I
League
was
One.
a lad.
Sorry,
League One.
Yeah.
So they're kind of low flying, really, aren't they?
Chris Kawamia. Yeah, they are. They're having a good season, of course. And they've been through the ringer a bit. The Tractor Boys. Lol.
Well, have they? What, like kind of owners and whatnot?
No, they've always had the same owner. No, like poor choice of managers, really. It was old matey, I've forgotten his name. The one that was at Aston Villa, the Scottish fella. Anyway, they're now in better health.
Alex McLeish.
No, Paul Lambert.
Oh right, yeah.
So, I mean, as we said before, Argyle are top. Ipswich sitting second on 38 points. Sheffield
Yeah.
Wednesday, 37 points in third. Then it's Peterborough, 31. You can thank us for that. We're currently in ninth on 25 points. So, there's a gap. There's no one's denying there's not a gap.
No, but
It feels like after that game Saturday, and the good game we gave Argyle.
we had this difficult. We knew we had this difficult run of fixtures, which we're sort of still in the middle of.
Yep.
But we've so far, fair enough, got battered by Argyle, but gave a decent account of ourselves. And
Certainly.
it wasn't a disaster.
No.
I mean, on paper it kind of was, but gave Derby a good game,
Yep.
got a point, beaten Peterborough.
Yeah.
So we can be confident that we're able to compete
Yeah.
at the top end of that table.
Yeah.
And
Let's not forget 4 games.
Peterborough on a really good run.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can't remember exactly what it was, but they won a lot. Ipswich, I only look back 5 games, but they haven't lost in the last 5 games. 3 wins, 2 draws. They'll come here thinking they want to win.
Yeah.
But they also will look at be looking at the weekend, and some of the secrets are out of the bag, aren't they? So again, it's going to be interesting to see how we react to that. Similar kind of game as far as we're concerned. A bigger team coming to play us, who should be at the top of the division, whereas we should be, who knows where, but not there probably.
Yeah.
And yeah, a bit of intrigue again. I wonder. I imagine Nombe will start this one, but we don't know, do we? What the team selection is going to look like. You might look at the end of the game last week and go like, yeah, do you know what? I quite fancy putting.
Yeah.
You got decisions to make. Like you might fancy Josh Key up in his, 5 seconds back in wing back position, and he's got an assist. So
yeah, absolutely.
You might think, Dieng did really well there at right centre back, and he's kind of got the attributes to maybe play that position. I don't know. Maybe Czech will be back.
Yeah, maybe Czech will be back. It also feels like, because Kite's obviously also played centre back, hasn't he? And I choose Dieng over Kite, but it feels like there's a kind of flexibility there that Colwell can work with. It's another full week.
Also, you remember we've got another centre back came back the weekend. We haven't talked about it yet. John Grounds came on at the end.
That's true. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Sporting a rather fetching beard.
Was he?
Yeah, he was.
I didn't even notice.
Big beard, big bushy beard.
Big bushy beard.
Yeah.
Wonder what he's trying to hide. Yeah. Well, it feels like Colwell's getting a measure of who's who, what they can do. We haven't seen Harper. We haven't seen Keggs.
No, Sonny Cox.
Haven't seen Sonny
Much.
Cox.
I mean, maybe he might come on for a minute or two. I'm not sure, but yeah,
Yeah. So he's working it out, isn't he? But I feel like we can go to that Ipswich game, no fear. Don't think the players will be afraid of anything.
No, I wouldn't have thought, especially after the weekend and like.
And you look at Colwell's record, 4 games played, we've only lost 1.
Yes.
And you think, well, actually, that's great in what's a difficult run. I'd be delighted with the draw against Ipswich, but I feel like we could go for the win and got every chance, actually.
Oh, totally. And if we do lose, it's one that's, not necessarily, as long as the performance is good, a bit like the Argyle game, it's not the end of the world if we lose. Obviously, we want to, and we feel like we could do better. But if we did, it's not like, that's a team that should beat us.
Yeah. They've got Freddie Ladapo up front. Remember him? Formerly Argyle, then he went to Rotherham. I think he went to Rotherham for £1 million.
Did he?
About 3 seasons ago. Then he went
back to Argyle, didn't he, last season? Pretty sure he did.
Did he? Okay. And then now he's Ipswich. Only got 5 this season, so it's not quite working out. But obviously they're up right at the top.
Who else they've got?
Who's that?
Kyle Edwards, formerly of our own team.
We had him from West Brom.
So he's on loan for us from West Brom, and then I think he's gone permanently to Ipswich. I think it was last season.
Right. Okay. He was great for us, and he was young, wasn't he? So.
Yeah, he always looked like he had a lot of potential, didn't he? I only looked at the last Saturday's game. He came off the bench for them, so maybe not a starter. Not sure, but
their manager's this interesting fella, Kieran McKenna.
Yeah, he's a child.
He was Jose Mourinho's assistant at Manchester United for a while, so he's never really played. Got injured at 21 or something.
Right.
So he was with Jose at Manchester United, which is interesting. He looks very young.
Yeah, younger than me. He's making Caldwell look like an old Scotsman.
Yeah, indeed so. Good metaphor. So
Old MacDonald.
They obviously feel like, there's something worth pursuing. They obviously feel like it's worth it. I'm not quite sure about their ownership anymore, because it was Marcus Evans for years, who's like a rich,
rich farmer?
Sugar daddy, maybe a rich farmer. Now maybe they got bought. I can't remember. But yeah, they'll bring loads, won't they? I'd imagine their away allocation will be sold out. I'd imagine it'll be a very busy.
I think the whole thing might sell out. I think there was yesterday afternoon. There was less than 1,000 big bank spaces left.
Right, wow.
And I think most of the seats, the seating might already be sold out. You know, it's a lunchtime thing. It's a big team.
Yep.
Everyone's into watching Exeter at the minute. Great result and performance at the weekend. So, well, you know, great result at the weekend.
Over 6,000 again, wasn't there?
I think we've been averaging 6,000 something this season.
As a overall attendance or just City fans?
I don't know. Overall, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, well, Peterborough bought...
Which is massively up on last season. I think they put the two
1,000
together.
up or something, isn't it?
I think it might be nearer to like getting on for 2,000 more.
Well,
I can't remember what the numbers they put up were. It was something like that.
Amazing.
Very good. Yeah.
But obviously, who can blame us? I mean, the thing you've noticed, the difference, the thing I've noticed is the Stansfield stand's always full, isn't it now?
Yep.
Because the seats are always selling out. And I wonder if also there's something around... Well, obviously, if people are going, you also want to be there. And I think it works quite well, doesn't it? Like, the seats are nearly sold out, and so you think, I need to get a seat, and so you buy seats in the Stansfield.
Yeah.
So brilliant. Absolutely splendid.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Looking
don't
forward
forget,
to it. Really
12
looking forward
p.m.
to it, yeah.
I know I keep going on about this, but I can't get my head around it at all. 12 p.m.
We had a game at 12 p.m. not that long ago as well, you know.
That was Forest Green, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I think it's the fact that it's at home.
This one's on Sky as well, if you can't make it or if it does sell out.
Yes.
This one's another one for the Sky, so maybe another chance to sort of show the gaff of England what we're about. Hey, tell you what, I saw a thing that during the World Cup, all the matches are on iFollow, even the 3:00ers.
Oh, right, you can watch them.
Yeah.
Because if there's an international game, that's what happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
The curfew goes. Right, okay. I mean, that probably won't affect us, and it might bring in a bit more money.
I'm not sure. Wouldn't imagine it makes a huge amount of difference, but yeah.
No.
It might
you're
affect
right,
the away travelling support, but I doubt.
I don't think it does.
No.
I
People
think
want to go, don't they?
People in league.
It's very much a different thing watching it on a laptop to going to a match, you know.
Yeah, and if you're already into the idea of, I'll go to Exeter because my team's doing well or I like the trip,
Yeah.
you know. And similarly, if you're a City supporter and you want to go to Derby or Morecambe or wherever.
Yeah.
Because our Morecambe game's Friday night anyway, isn't it? In first game in December.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Someone requested it.
Okay.
I don't know who. But yeah, so there actually won't be that many games that it changes for us because of our 12 p.m. and then because of our Friday night.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
But yeah.
World Cup's on for a month, though, isn't it? So maybe might be a couple more that you...
Yeah, might be. Sheffield Wednesday, maybe. And then we'll also know about Oxford Woking in the Cup, won't we?
Yeah, they're playing tomorrow night.
Because it was called off for weather, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then we'll know... And then that's a week Saturday.
Yeah.
Away.
Yeah. But at least, like we said before, at least it's no travelling. So, well, you know, only a morning travel.
Yes.
Very good. So that's where we are with Exeter City Football Club. Halcyon days, Dan. Really feels like we're part of something brilliant at the minute.
I know.
But it's felt like that for a long time,
sending
actually.
me a bit because I don't know how to deal with this.
No.
You don't want to be too optimistic about it because then suddenly it crashes down around your ears. You know, like, is that the expression?
Yeah.
Around your
Yeah, around your ears.
Right. But yeah, it is good. It is good. And it's fun. And it's just all... We've got a bit of a soft underbelly, haven't we? Which we show by conceding a few goals here and there.
Yes.
It's a new manager. He seems like a lovely bloke. He's got some tactical things right so far, but who knows? Maybe it's all the new manager bounce. It might... Part of me can't get the idea out of my head that at any minute now the whole thing could come crashing down.
I mean, that's...
But I don't know why.
That's a wise attitude. Well, because you've supported Exeter City.
Well, yeah, that'll be it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how long does it take before we have full confidence in him? I mean, he's inspiring more confidence every time I see him do something. And those changes he made on Saturday...
I agree.
Thought,
yeah,
great.
I agree, yeah.
There's also, I think, the factor in the back of everyone's mind is this is not a very deep squad.
That's true, yeah.
So we lose Brown, we lose Nombe, we lose Stansfield. You know, that's a concern.
Yeah. Or Collins.
Yeah.
So of course.
And then obviously, as we already know, our centre-back, we've kind of stopped talking about it because they're doing a really good job, but those aren't our first choice three.
No, and we've had problems with that. You know, like
Yep.
we're conceding goals that we shouldn't be conceding.
Yeah.
There's errors at the back. That's kind of what I mean about us having a soft centre sort
Yes.
of thing. But as well as making the odd error that leads to goal, they've also made there's other examples of them doing a really good job in playing in positions they're not particularly used to. So.
Yep. Other factor, of course, is that I've completely forgotten what the other factor was. Never mind, it'll come to me. But yeah, I think there'll be moments, won't there, of scraping together a squad, and we'll be like, oh, okay, we'll just about manage. Oh, here's the other factor I've just remembered. Scott Brown left just last week.
Yeah, he's gone.
Which means
I think he's gone to Rotherham.
He's gone to Rotherham, which we always knew was going to happen. That, of course, means that Blackman, while showing no signs of being someone who's going to get injured, of course, at Derby, we saw that Harry Lee had to come on. That's fine. He's obviously good enough for a backup.
Yeah, we're a keeper down, though, aren't we?
We're a keeper down.
Maybe we need to bring someone in January.
But then you think every year that goes by, or every 6 months that goes by, Harry Lee's 6 months closer to being...
Yeah, but even if it's just kind of like, someone just
a loanee.
Or someone on a contract till the end of the season, just...
Perhaps.
Because if Blackman gets injured, okay, cool, Harry Lee, let's stick him in goal, but then there's no one on the bench.
At all, yes.
You need 3 keepers, don't you? I mean, like you do.
I suppose at that point you get an emergency loan, but that's not a risk we want to run, is it?
No.
So yeah, all those factors...
Dino Visser, where are you?
He's still lining up some penalty shouting.
I'd love to get Dino Visser back.
I don't know where
Where's
he is now.
Where's
no,
he?
I don't know. He went to Crewe, didn't he?
Did he?
That's where he went, wasn't it? That's what he beat Crewe for us, and then he played against us for Crewe. Am I remembering that right?
Okay. He is currently playing for Hereford.
Okay. Come on down, Dino. So That's where we are. We'll see you all at St James Park, 12 p.m. sharp. If I keep saying it, I'm going to remember it, I think.
Someone bring some bugles, for God's sake.
Triple bugler with chips. You can get in touch with us in all the normal ways. We're on Twitter at Big Bank Pod. We're on Facebook as well, Big Bank Theory Podcast. And you can email us, bigbankpod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. But if we don't, we'll see you again this time next week.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, everyone. My name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Cheers.
See you soon.